Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Prop Wiz. I'm your host, the Wiz. Now, it's Tuesday night. You probably won't see this until Wednesday, so you just have to trust me that it's Tuesday night, 10:22 p.m., which means about an hour and 22 minutes ago, I checked out the newest episode of Ahsoka, episode 6. Dude, by now you gotta already know what I'm gonna say. I loved it. I'm really feeling the Ahsoka series right now. I did put a few fillers out this week. Like, I really haven't been paying attention to any of the other podcasts or videos talking about Ahsoka, at least for the most part. I caught a couple of things here and there, but I did kind of dive in there and saw that there was quite a few people out there that's not liking the direction of Ahsoka. At least the first 4 episodes. It seemed like the last episode, episode 5, a lot of people was loving. In fact, that's how I kind of heard about it. People were praising episode 5, saying that, you know, they were kind of not really into it until we got to that episode. Full disclosure, I'm loving it from episode 1 all the way to this episode 6. Yes, 100% episode 5 was the highlight. I enjoyed episode 1, actually. I enjoyed episode 1 a lot, but episode 5 is definitely the one. It had Anakin Skywalker, yo, come on. With that being said, episode 5 ended, you know, kind of promising this next journey, what felt like was going to be the beginning of the series. And in that regard, I can kind of sympathize or kind of understand some of the people's complaints, because that's what they were saying. It felt like 4 episodes of build up. Definitely agree if I look at it from that angle. This definitely feels like the beginning of the journey. Episode 5, beautiful setup, beautiful episode. And then now it's like, okay, before I jump into elements of the story, let me just say, as I've been saying with the whole series, the special effects, man, very, very consistent. Absolutely loving it. Looked phenomenal. There were some real big things. For example, they had a Star Destroyer, dog, looking super duper epic. We got stormtroopers, man. Different kind of, you know, cool take on the stormtroopers, by the way. These stormtroopers that's been exiled for, you know, so many years. So that was cool. But anyway, all speaking to the visual effects, man. Real dope. The world itself is gorgeous. The beginning of the episode showed a little bit of Ahsoka, but she really was absent for the majority of the episode. They did that thing where they kind of showed us, you know, a little bit at the beginning. And I had that feeling. I'm so used to seeing that specifically in Star Wars shows. They do it a lot with the action. Like, you could tell when it's going to be a dialogue-based episode, they show this real big action piece at the beginning. The rest of it is, you know, dialogue-based or slower paced. So very similar to that. They kind of showed Ahsoka. I had a feeling like this is probably all. I can't put my finger on it, but there was something about the scene that was like, okay, we're probably not going to see a lot of her the rest of the episode. And sure, indeed, we didn't see no more of her the rest of the episode. But what they showed us in this episode made that absolutely fine, as we got both General Thrawn, or Grand Admiral Thrawn. Is it General Thrawn or Grand Admiral? I think it's Grand Admiral Thrawn, as well as the long-awaited Ezra, which I didn't think we were going to get both of those characters in the same episode. I just thought they were going to be, you know, doing this build-up. The fact that they didn't do that build-up makes me think there's some crazy things to come in the next few episodes. So that's it, y'all. I just dropped the heavy bomb. I mean, that's the episode. Ezra, Thrawn. The coolest thing out of these two characters, well, actually, I'll talk about Ezra first, because Ezra to me was the simplest. It was real cool seeing him in live action. Of course, totally different actor playing Ezra than the actor that voiced the character. So you never really know what the live action actor is going to do. It's a totally different person. You know, is he going to look at the episode and carry that on? For Star Wars, you know, they're going to carry a piece of it. And in this one, I'm glad to report that this really felt like Ezra. I mean, definitely different. Visibly older, and of course with him being older and being gone for so many years, that really lends itself for any differences that we might see between the Ezra now and in the past. But in terms of personality, his optimistic look, just his overall coolness, it felt like the Ezra from the Rebels TV show. Thrawn's a whole different thing. To me, my favorite thing about this episode was seeing him. It almost feels cliche for me to say it, because yo, just seeing him on you know, in live action it's just an exciting thing as a Star Wars fan. So I knew I was going to love seeing him, just like I love seeing him in Rebels, because that was the first time I got to see him in, you know, moving in action in that, which, by the way, is one of the things that made this dope. I'm watching this character, and I must have forgot. I knew that it was the same voice actor playing the physical actor in this show, but at some point I must have forgot, because I was watching it thinking the same thing. I'm wondering what this live action actor is going to do. You know, is he going to follow what the animated series? And then I'm listening to him. He's acting like the animated series. He definitely visibly older, but he sounds exactly like General Thrawn from the cartoon. his voice, the cadence of how he was talking and everything. And I'm like, man, he did what the voice actor did. Forgot that it's the same person. That's something we've been seeing a lot in Star Wars. The DC universe is promising that, right? James Gunn is actually promising that the actors that he chooses for the live action movies will also be doing the voices for the video games, animated series, and so forth. Star Wars is already on it. Quite a few times we've gotten the actors, where it be Mandalorian characters. Quite a few times we've gotten characters that play both the cartoon and the live action. And Thrawn, man, there's no other way, dude. The Thrawn in Rebels was so dope, the way he was portrayed. So I'm real happy he was able to do that live action. And right from the jump, man, Thrawn is the Thrawn that we know, this super duper genius, this tactician, this guy that's just know how things working, man. It was on full display in this episode. It didn't really show a whole lot, but just the little pieces of things that he knew, the things that he were planning. When it was announced that Ahsoka was on her way, flying in one of those space wells, he found out that she was coming. He asked for a file on her, let me get her information. Who was a master? Who that's the Thrawn that we know. Like, we know what he's going to do with that information. And it was real dope seeing that again in live action. Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati, dude, again, love seeing those two together, especially Baylan Skoll, man. He's dope, man. He's showing his honor. We're kind of seeing a little bit more of his motivations and where he kind of stands with the Jedi. He's one of those Jedis. He actually mentioned something that he missed, not the Jedi Order, but he missed the idea of the Jedi Order, which makes him, to me, a perfect character to be in this Ahsoka series, because we know Ahsoka also kind of questioned the Jedi with that same kind of thought. Like, she understood the idea of the Jedi, but didn't really feel like the Jedi was living up to that. And that led to her leaving. Baylan, of course, he actually says in this episode, he was there all the way to the end, to where the Jedi temples were being burned down by the Empire, by Darth Vader himself, Anakin Skywalker. So he was there in the end, and so more forced out than leaving. But upon being forced out, he said with age, he grew to kind of learn the lies of the Jedi, or the weaknesses of the Jedi, as he put it. So again, we didn't get a whole lot of detail, but just real interesting how that story's unfolding. And again, the way that it connects to Ahsoka makes it perfect for this episode. And I'm hoping they show more of that, as I'm sure they're going to show more of that. The last little piece I guess I'll talk about is Sabine, man. Sabine got some making up to do. You know what I'm saying? She did find Ezra. That's cool. And I kind of like how this show addressed it. Like, she didn't want to tell Ezra how she got there. Of course, she don't want to tell Ezra that she don't know if there's a way to get back. As of now, she's thinking there's no way to get back. I felt like that was dealt with pretty realistically and wise, because it's like, I'm wondering what Ezra's gonna think. Because of course, me as an audience member, as I'm sure you guys are, we ain't really too happy with Sabine right now. Now, because I done followed her with Rebels, I got one of my homies, Reels, shout out to my boy Reels, that really ain't feeling Sabine, like feels really passionate about it. Whereas I followed her in Rebels, so I already fell in love with this character. So it's a disappointment. I'm not quite ready to do off with her, but nah, man, but she got some fixing to do. That mistake in the sacrifice she made to even get there is she's just gonna have to answer to it at some point, as I'm sure she will. But besides that, man, her journey is still cool, man. They tricked us again where it looked like she was about to use the Force. The walls and stuff were shaking, and it ended up being, something else going. It ended up being the Star Destroyer that flew, that was flying in, that had Grand Admiral Thrawn, which was dope. Again, I think I already spoke about the Star Destroyer. Dope scene, man. Beautiful visual effect. And the way they used it, the way the ship came down on this little temple thing, that they had set up, man, was just cool. Morgan Elsbeth, still same old, man. I kind of like her character. There's intimidation to her, but at the same time, man, she was given so much respect to Thrawn that spoke more about Thrawn than it did her. And along those lines, man, we got to see some of the Night Sisters too. So that was kind of cool seeing those characters in live action. I'm not sure if it's the exact same Night Sisters. I believe it is. I might be wrong. But regardless, man, it was cool to be able to see those characters in live action and doing some cool things as well. Real dope episode, man. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that doesn't make this as good as episode 5 is we were missing Anakin Skywalker, but we knew we weren't gonna get Anakin in every single episode. So it is what it is. Absolutely love the episode. Can't wait for the next one. But anyways, man, leave me some comments. Let me know what you guys think. Are you following this? Hey, what do you think about any of the negative comments? I mean, is this something that you guys are feeling? Let me know. You know what I mean? I'm real open. Like I said, I'm loving it, but I get it. And on the lines of liking and loving some stuff, if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe. As always, I love you guys to death, and I'll check you out next time, all right? Peace.